It's week 11 in the NFL, and I got 6 best bets for you. Let's talk some football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we are here to talk a little pigskin, baby. That's right, it is time for some football. We have had a ton of new subscribers lately. Thank you so much for the support. We were about to head to 8,000 subscribers just 2 days ago, and now we're almost at 10,000 already. Thank you guys so much. That's a tribute to everybody, all the OGs, all the people that are just joining on. Thanks for all the likes, comments, and all that kind of stuff. So before you fast forward, I know some of you guys like to just fast forward to the bets. You are going to miss out on trends if you do that. And the trends this year have been unfreaking believable. If you have blindly tailed the trends I gave out, you would be 77-35 on the season right now. So be sure to stay tuned for that. NFL player props video coming out Friday night, as always, just so you guys know. Still going to have our NBA video out for Thursday night, or for Thursday's game. It's only a 2-game slate, but we will have that out as well. So I'm ready to get rolling. In this video, we're going to talk trends. We're going to talk that Thursday night football preview, give you 2 best bets in the Cincy-Baltimore game, give you our Week 11 best bets, our trends parlay. It is a juicy one. Head-to-head bet between me and Ryan, and then we'll finish it off, of course, with the bets recap. Smash that like button. Leave a comment below. Help that algorithm. Help our channel keep growing. Thank you guys so much for the support. Let's get into it. It starts with those Week 11 trends. All right, let's go. We got 2 pages for the Week 11 trends. 77-35 on the season. Let's keep it rolling. First one's Thursday Night Football. Bengals 15-5 against the spread. The last 20 games as an underdog. They are getting 3.5 points to the Ravens. Something that kind of goes against it, though, I just want to point this out. They are 1-23 straight up their last 24 road night games. How about that one? So technically, the Bengals could lose by 3, and both those trends still hit. Next one, Panthers 8-1 against the spread in the first quarter this year. They are getting 2.5 points at home against the Cowboys. Browns gone over their team total in 8 of 9 games. It is set at a low 16.5. Deshaun Watson out for the year. He is now made of glass, and he just has not been the same player since his suspension. Next one, Cardinals gone over their team total in 7 of 10 games with a 21.5 team total for this weekend. Kyler Murray is the quarterback now. Then the Giants have gone under their team total in 8 of 10 games, and the Commanders have played a bottom 10 offense 10 times since the start of last season. The under is 10-0 in those games. So that's pretty impressive. But the team total for the Giants is 13.5, or the over-under for the team total game is 38. That's quite the stat, that's for sure. By the way, I did not make up these stats, so don't get upset at me for anything. Here we go. Next one. Bears 3-16 against the spread the last 19 divisional games. They are terrible against their division. Since 2021, the Bears are the worst divisional ATS team at 2-12, and the Lions are the number 1 team in the NFL against their own division against the spread at 11-2. Chicago +8, Lions -8, however you want to look at it for that one. Let's move on to page 2. This Dolphins one. They have won all 4 home games this year by 14 plus points. They are also 3-0 against the spread under Mike McDaniel as double-digit favorites. And also 18-5-2 against the spread the last 25 games as a home favorite. They are laying some big points this weekend. 12.5, 13.5, depending on what book you get it, and we will talk about that game later. Titans games have gone under in all 5 road games this year. The total is set at 39.5. 49ers 16-3 against the spread last 19 home games. We've been talking about this all year. They have dominated at home, and they are -12 against the Bucs this weekend. Jets games gone under 40 points in 12 of 14 games. I can't imagine why. Their quarterback is so good. That is set at 40 points on the dot. Rams 6-0 against the spread. Whatever. I don't want to talk about this one. Last 6 games versus my Seattle Seahawks. Rams +1. Go Hawks. And the final one. Chiefs games gone under the second half total in every game this season. Again, this is a second half total. The Chiefs are dead last on offense in the second half. That is wild. Averaging 5.9 points per game in the second half. The total for the second half for them on Monday Night Football is set at 22.5. Those are the gold nuggets, the Week 11 trends. Now, before we get into the preview for Thursday Night Football, let's check out the free square for the Bengals and Ravens. There it is, guys, the free square for Thursday Night Football. Joe Burrow over a half a passing yard. If you are not signed up on Thrive Fantasy yet, you got to go do it. Use the promo code JABA. You get a 100% first deposit match all the way up to $250. They are handing you free money. It's eligible in over 30 states. You get the money, then you get half of your parlay or a third, however long you want to make your parlay, Add Joe Burrow half passing yard, put it with another leg. You get 2 out of 2. You get 3.2 times your money. 3 out of 3. There it is right there. That is the chart. You get free money and some of your bet. I mean, guys, you got to take advantage of it while you can. Use the promo code Jabo to get that free money up to 250. And again, you do not have to use the entire $250 on your first bet. Just a heads up. So that's what we got for Thrive Fantasy. Now let's talk a little Thursday night football. All right, the first primetime game of Week 11 takes us to Baltimore. We got the Ravens hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Ravens minus 3.5, over under of 46 points. We have a huge AFC North showdown. Both teams coming off tough losses. Bengals lost to the Texans at home last week, and the Ravens blew a lead and lost to the Browns at home. T. Higgins is out again for for the Bengals this game. There's not any other huge injuries that I can think of. Ravens. I don't know who that is. That's a combo, I guess. But the Ravens have a 1.5 game lead on the Bengals in the division, so it's a big game. That is a very tightly contested division. Against the spread, Bengals 4-4-1, 2-2 against the spread on the road. Ravens 6-4 against the spread, 3-2 at home. Over under, not much there either. Bengals 5-4 to the under. Ravens 6-4 to the under. The last game they played was in week 2. The Ravens beat the Bengals 27-24. Again, if you remember, Joe Burrow was not exactly healthy that game, but it was still competitive. The Ravens got 415 yards to the Bengals 282, but this is a different Bengals offense now. Matchup wise, I mean, the big disadvantage here for the Bengals is that they have one of the worst run defenses. I mean, it is like Swiss cheese out there. It is not pretty. The Ravens' top 5 running team with rookie Mitchell now, Gus Edwards, and of course Lamar Jackson. So, if the Ravens can run all over them, it could be a long night for the Bengals. But my first best bet of 2 in this game, that's right, I got 2, is going to be a little same game parlay for bet number 1. We got Mark Andrews, the tight end for the Ravens, 40 plus receiving yards, and the Ravens plus 3.5. Yes, both alt lines, just in case you're wondering. I got this at minus 125 on DraftKings. Let's start out with Mark Andrews, 40 plus receiving yards. He's hit this in 8 of 9 games, and actually 8 straight, because the only game he didn't was the opening game he in week 2 when he played. He's now facing the Bengals. How about the Bengals are giving up the 4th most yards to tight ends in the NFL this season? The last 3 games, here's what tight ends have done to the Bengals: 71 yards to Dalton Schultz, 81 yards to Kincaid of the Buffalo Bills, and 149 yards to George Skittle Kittle. I mean, they have been absolutely lit up. Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the league. I expect him to easily get 40. I think he goes over his total, which I think is getting close to 60 right now. Ravens plus 3.5 is the next one. I mean, obviously, Ravens are 3.5 point favorites. I'm taking them all the way down to plus 3.5. I think they win this game, to be honest with you, but they've only lost by more than this one time this season, and it was a fluky 4th quarter against the Steelers when they lost by 7. And they had a 10-point lead going into that quarter, so they compete with absolutely everybody. Obviously, they've won most of their games. But running game is going to be too much, in my opinion. Like we already talked about, I think they're going to be able to control the clock, run the ball. They're at home here. Worst case scenario, maybe they lose on a game-winning field goal by the Bengals, but I just don't see any way how they lose by 4 or more points in this one. So give me Andrews 40 plus receiving yards, Ravens plus 3.5 as my first best bet for Thursday night football. Now my second one, we're going to go a little anytime touchdown, which you know what that means if you've been watching me. That is a half unit play. I don't like to bet anytime touchdowns full unit because you just need a little luck also. So here we go. It is Mr. Keaton Mitchell. I don't know how you pronounce it. Anytime touchdown at plus 250 on FanDuel, putting a half unit on it. Now, you guys know this guy. He hasn't had that many carries yet. He's a rookie, but he has looked really good. According to John Harbaugh, he is supposed to get more carries this game. He had a good first half last week on like 3 or 4 carries, and then they decided not to use him in the second half. I don't know why. He was more efficient than Gus Edwards. He's been explosive. He has big play potential every time he touches it, and in 2 games so far this year, he has a touchdown in each game already. And that's only on 12 carries. I expect him to start getting more and more carries. I don't know why Harbaugh is holding him back. I know he's a rookie, but I mean, you got to win some games. You're playing in the NFL. So, Bengals have given up 6 rushing touchdowns to running backs this season in 9 games. I mean, honestly, guys, if he gets more usage like I think he will, plus 250 for a running back against a bad run defense, I think is a steal. And you know what? If he doesn't get more than John Harbaugh can, you know what? I mean, he can't lie to me. Head coaches never lie, right? What could go wrong there? But in all honesty, by the eye test, we all know that Mitchell is a stud and he needs to get more carries. So give me Mitchell Anytime touchdown at plus 250 on FanDuel for a half unit. And that is Thursday Night Football. Now it's time to get into my Week 11 best bets. All right, the next bet takes us out to sunny Miami, Florida. We got the Dolphins hosting the Raiders. Dolphins minus 12 and a half, over under 46 and a half. I'm going to get right into my best bet. It is the Dolphins minus 12 and a half, minus 115 on FanDuel. Now, this is a great case of needing to go check out Odds Jam and see all the different odds across all different sports books because this line is 13 and a half on DraftKings. So if you got FanDuel or any other sports book that you can get under 13, which is a key number in football, go do it. Again, if you are an OddsJam, use the promo code JABO14. You get a 14-day free trial to absolutely everything. Or JABO25 gets you 25% off. So just a little plug. I love OddsJam. They're a great partner of ours, and they really help you out. The odds screens across all different sports books is just one of many things they offer. Now, back to the game. Dolphins absolutely annihilate bad teams at home. We know that. I've talked about that all year. They suck against good teams, and they crush the bad teams. They are 4-0 against the spread at home, and they've covered the spread by an average of 15 points. That is wild to me. Here's what they've done at home: beat the Patriots by 14, beat the Panthers by 21, beat the Giants by 15, beat the Broncos by 50. That's right, absolute 50. We all know that one. They're coming off a bye week after their loss to the Chiefs in Germany, where they shut the Chiefs offense out in the second half. Again, I mentioned the Chiefs suck in the second half, though, but still good defense. Tua 7-2 against the spread as a favorite of more than 4 points. How about that? Tua knows how to beat the bad teams. I think the Raiders are awful. I think people kind of think they're okay now because they've won a couple games. They dominated the Jets. They got dominated by the Jets, in my opinion. Actually, they won the game, but the Jets out-yarded them, outplayed them, but they got the win. I think it's time for Antonio Pierce and this Raiders team to be just humbled a little bit by this Dolphins defense and offense. To be honest with you, they have won two in a row, like I mentioned, against the two New York teams, the Giants and the Jets. Literally, guys, those two quarterbacks they're facing, they're first facing Zach Carr Salesman Wilson and then Tommy Danny DeVito. I mean, come on, guys. Now they're going up against Tua. Those two offenses are absolutely horrendous, the two worst in the NFL. In the 5 road games, the Raiders this year lost by 12 to the Lions, lost by 18 to the Bears, lost by 7 to the Chargers, lost by 28 to the Bills, and then beat the Broncos by 1 in week 1 when the Broncos were awful. I mean, they're not a good team. I know it's a new head coach, totally different from the beginning of the year, but they have the 29th ranked rush defense and now go up against the top 3 rush offense. We know the Dolphins can run the ball as good as anybody. I also think the Dolphins' defense is improving with Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey back in the secondary. They're playing a little bit better. You know what? They don't have to be excellent in the defense. They just got to be pretty good. And so I see this one being a bloodbath. I mean, we're talking like I wouldn't be shocked at a 30-point win here. So I would gladly take the 12 and a half. I'd play it up to probably 14. 14 is a key number as well. But if you can get 13 and a half, I love that too. So give me the Dolphins minus 12 and a half as my first bet on Sunday. All right, this next bet takes us out to Carolina. We got the Panthers hosting the Cowboys. Cowboys minus 10 and a half, over under 42 and a half in this game. I'm going to get right into it. It's going to be a bet that you're not expecting at all. It is a team total, and it is an under. Give me the Cowboys team total under 27 and a half at minus 130 on DraftKings. Let's talk about it a little bit. The Cowboys are known for just falling flat in general against bad teams or on the road or anything like that, but on the road this season, the Cowboys are averaging only 21.8 points per game. And if you take out, or if you only include the last 4 road games and take out the very first game of the season when the Giants handed them points and they won 40-0, here's what they've done in the last 4 road games offensively: scored 16 against the Cardinals and lost, by the way, 10 versus the 49ers, 20 versus that terrible Chargers defense, and 23 versus the Eagles. Carolina, when you think of them, you probably think they are terrible everywhere. No, their offense is historically bad. Their defense has not been that bad this year, actually. They're averaging giving up 20.3 points per game at home this season. Not one single team in the NFL, well, that they've played, has scored over 27 points against them in Carolina. That's right. The Colts had the most at 27. Everyone else has been under. They even held the Vikings when they had Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, and all them to 20 or 21 points. They're kind of a sneaky defense. They're a top 10 pass defense right now. They can slow down CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. I haven't been that impressed with Tony Pollard in this Cowboys running game, to be honest with you. So the only worry I have is if Bryce Young in this offense is so bad where he's throwing pick sixes or fumbling at near their own goal line or anything to just hand them points. Obviously, special teams touchdowns hurt too, but you know what? You can't predict that stuff. That's just impossible. So I'm just going to go with Panthers defense versus the Cowboys offense. I also like the Panthers plus 10.5 quite a bit. I know I'm nuts, but I don't want to trust their offense. So I'm just going to go with the team total. Give me the Cowboys under 27.5. And let's move on to the next bet. All right, before we get to the trends parlay and the head-to-head bet, let's go. The final best bet of Sunday is a team total parlay and their alt lines. We got the 49ers team total over 20.5, Lions team total over 23.5 at minus 120 on DraftKings. Team total for the 49ers. Guys, we just need 21 points here. They're averaging 31 points per game at home this season. The line was set at 27.5 right now, so I took it all the way down to 20.5. They're fully healthy, and when they're fully healthy, they're very tough to stop. I mean, we're talking Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams is healthy now as the left tackle. This team is just brutal to play on defense. Bucks allow an average of 22.8 points per game on the road compared to 16.8 at home. They just allowed in their last three road games 39 to the Texans, 24 to the Bills, 26 to the Saints. And you're telling me the 49ers can't just get 21 for me? I think they got this. Bucks allow the second most passing yards per game this season. I think the 49ers offensive line is going to be able to block for him well. Purdy will be able to find his targets, get rid of the ball. Shouldn't have too much pressure in his face. Again, I just need 24. Next one, Lions team total over. I don't need 24. I need 21. That's all I need for that one. Next one, Lions team total over 23.5. This team total is set at 28.5, but all we need is 24, and they're averaging 29.8 points per game at home. We know Goff and these boys love to play in the dome. I will give some credit though. The Bears are playing a little bit better defensively lately, especially against the run. But the last two road games, they've still given up 24 to the Saints, 30 to the Chargers. And you know what? They've been absolutely horrendous versus the pass. They have been very good against the run. I will give them that. But this is a balanced team, like I've mentioned before with the Lions. They will beat you any way they need to beat you. And I think Jared Goff's going to have a big day. I'd look for a big day with Amon-Ra, St. Brown, all those guys. And I think that Lions O line is just going to be able to give Goff enough time against this Bears defense, and they can score 24. I wouldn't be surprised if they score 30. Like I said, they average about 30 points per game in Detroit. So that's what I need. I need 49ers to score 21 or more, Lions to score 24 or more. That's minus 120 on DraftKings. Now, let's check out the juicy trends parlay. All right, the trends parlay for this weekend is a juicy plus 441. Here we go. Under 39.5 Jets and Bills. Cardinals team total over 19.5 and the under 38 and the Giants and Commanders. Let's start out. I'm just going to talk briefly about each one and what the trend is we're following. Under 39.5 Jets and Bills. The trend, Jets games have gone under 40 points in 12 of the last 14 games. First game between these two teams were tied at 16 after regulation and scored 38 total with the overtime. Guys, listen, the car salesman that's dressed as a football player, Zach Wilson, the quarterback for the Jets, he is awful. Why did the Jets not go get Josh Jobs? I don't even understand it. They don't even need an excellent quarterback. They have a good defense. But, anyways, Bills are also struggling offensively, as we've seen the last few weeks. And Allen has really struggled against the Jets. Probably the worst opponent for him. He throws a lot of picks, and they just tend to struggle, as we saw in week one. So give me the under 39.5 in the Jets and Bills game. Next one, Cardinals, team total over 19.5. The trend, they have gone over their team total in 7 of 10 games. Now, I may have fudged this one just a little. The team total is really at 20.5, maybe 21.5 in some books. I took it down to 19.5 because I just wanted to. So, Kyler Murray is back. I think they get to 20 this week against the Texans. He looked really healthy last week. His scrambling ability is what made us lose the trends parlay last week when he had that long run in the fourth quarter on the game-winning drive. So with Kyler Murray healthy, I don't think 20 points is a lot to ask for. I think the Texans are going to put up a lot of points. So they may even get over this in garbage time if they don't get to it before that. So give me the Cards team total over 19.5. And the final leg, under 38, and the Giants and Washington Commanders. The trend in this game, Commanders, this is a crazy one. Played at bottom 10 defense 10 times since the start of last season, and the under is 10-0 in those games. Guys, Danny DeVito is the quarterback for the Giants. If you haven't heard about him, he lives with his mom still, and he's proud of it. He's literally sitting there in the basement going, "Ma, the meatloaf!" I mean, that's what he's doing. He's literally Will Ferrell. He just never knows what his mom's doing up there. But anyways, guys, divisional game. Danny DeVito's awful. He's a terrible quarterback. These teams both stink. I don't want to talk about them anymore because they're so bad. Just give me the under 38. Don't watch the game and move on. Let's get a trends parlay winner. We are freaking due. We have hit 2 out of 3 legs way too many times. I want this plus 441 winner. And that's all I got for you. Let's get into the head-to-head bet. All right, the showdown is on, baby. Head-to-head bet between me and Ryan. I am 5-5. Freaking finally. I have never had a winning record against him this week or this year, but it starts this week. Now, Ryan doesn't have any official bets of his own. He worked long days like he always does and has two videos to help produce. Just not enough time to research. He didn't want to give you just some crappy bet, but he did help a little bit with some of my best bets as well. So that's what we got. But he jumped on for the head to head, and I'm ready to go. It is an ugly game we're going to talk about, baby. The Steelers at the Browns. Give me the Brownies -1. Ryan is going to take the Steelers +1. I'm going to let Ryan talk about it first because I don't want to.
Sounds good. Mike Tomlin, I mean, that's basically what I'm going with. He gets his team to victories, basically. Like, his team's not very good. I can't sit here and say, yeah, they're going to run the ball good, throw the ball good. No, I don't really believe in Kenny Pickett, the running backs, none of that. But Mike Tomlin and these Steelers, they just find ways to win games. And now I got to ask them to win a game against a backup quarterback. And I don't even know if they were really sure which backup quarterback they wanted to go with. So, I mean, come on. Tomlin has to figure out a way. And then J.J. Watt going after this backup quarterback, I mean, he's been a stud basically the entire season. All I got to do is freaking win. I'm getting +1. I absolutely love that. If this freaking fails, I mean, next time I come on, I'm going Mohawk. I'm cutting my hair. I got to cut it anyways a little bit, but I'm going to go with
Oh,
the Mohawk. I'm putting my hair on the line for this one.
putting your hair on the line. Your hairline. You get it? Your hairline is
It,
already. Okay, we don't need to talk about hairline. Okay, guys, here's my argument. Um, let's just say we don't love this head-to-head bet, but we didn't find much else because we can't bet a game I already bet on. But DTR is going to be the quarterback. It looks like. I don't know why PJ Walker's not the quarterback. I liked it more, but DTR started one game. It was in a loss. He threw 3 interceptions. This over/under, if I mentioned, it's 33. It's 30 freaking three. We're almost in the 20s. This is going to be the ugliest game you've ever seen. But what I'm counting on is the Browns. We talked about last week how their defense struggles on the road. They do not struggle at home. They are the #1 defense in the NFL at home. I hope they just get a touchdown on defense. That's my hope. And DTR and the offense can add just enough. It's going to get ugly no matter who wins. It will not be a blowout. I'll tell you that. But a divisional game, it's going to get crazy. Steelers won the first matchup in Pittsburgh. I think Cleveland gets their revenge. They just have to win by 2 or more. Me and Ryan were just talking about this. If they tie, Ryan wins the bet. And if they go to overtime, they very well could tie because these two offenses could struggle. Okay, could absolutely struggle. Deshaun Watson is on the IR for the rest of the year, so he's going to have a lot of time to do whatever he wants. And anyways, that's all I got for you. I got the Browns -1. Ryan, Steelers +1. That is the head-to-head bet. Put Team Steven or Team Ryan in the comments. Steven is spelled with a PH for all those that want to do that, because I'm sure most of you want to put Team Steven. But that's what we got. Let's get to 6-5. And I'm talking about myself, not you. Thank you, Ryan, for hopping on. I know it's a
yep.
busy day for you. Appreciate it. With that said, let's go right into the bets recap. All right, there's the full card for NFL Week 11. We start with Thursday Night Football. Andrews 40+ receiving yards. The Ravens +3.5. Both alt lines at -125. And then we got Mitchell, the rookie, anytime touchdown for the Ravens at +250 on FanDuel. That is only a half unit play. And then Dolphins -12.5. Again, this could be 13.5 on some books, but I got this at -115 on FanDuel. Released on Twitter and Discord earlier today. Cowboys team total under 27.5, -130 on DraftKings. And then the team total parlay, they are an alt line parlay. 49ers team total over 20.5, Lions team total over 23.5 at -120 on DraftKings. And then that trends parlay that I just know it's a winner. I just feel it. Under 39.5, Jets and Bills. Arizona Cardinals team total over 19.5. I moved that down just one in case you're wondering. And the under 38 Giants and Commanders. Then there's that head-to-head bet. We are 5-5. I got the Browns -1. He's got the Steelers +1. Put Team Steven or Team Ryan in the comments below. Man, that was fun. It was good to talk some football. I can't thank you guys enough for the support. It's been unbelievable. So thank you again. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit that. Comment below if you have any extra time. Really helps the algorithm, helps our channel grow. But we got a lot going on right now. Got another NBA video coming out in just a little bit with 2 NBA games. So let's get after it. Let's stay hot. Hope everyone has a great Thursday, and we'll talk to you soon.